No, I chose this one. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for your patience, and thank you again, our OP Golden Buzzer, for being so patient. He doesn't know that he's on the inaugural stream of Irie Chess, but he's going to. So, Adam, from this position, what do you like? What do you see?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I feel like the G4 square is really important here. I've run into some trouble sometimes where after the opponent plays D6 and opens up his light square bishop, if you don't control that square with either your bishop or pawn on F3, then his knight can jump down to G4. And they have a really nasty thing where then they follow it up with Queen B6, and now they have crazy attacks on all your important pieces.
I see what you're saying, and you definitely don't want to be forced in a position where you want to trade this important dark squared bishop for this knight, for instance, right?
So I think
you like the early F3 just to
either F3 or bishop, E2, because it's like in this position, where are you putting your light square bishop?
Right.
Because it's going to be behind a wall with white pawn.
Yeah, so I've seen both. I've also seen, because he hasn't advanced the pawn yet, because we are in the hyper accelerated dragon variety, he can't really move this pawn with tempo in any important way, so that it's not quite attacked yet, since the queen attacks it.
Right.
But yes, if we don't see any other good move, I think developing ET going F4 is great. But I also like the English attack, which is characterized by this as well. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should play the bishop move because it activates a piece and it still gives us the option if we want to go F3 or F4. We don't have to commit yet. We're trying to see what his plan is.
Yeah, and we're really in this
more flexibility.
In the Marazzi bind position. We're really not concerned about getting this bishop to anything more active. We're not settling for E2 here, because even D3 is just going to be pointing into both of our pawns. So, all right.
I wonder if we, if I try to send this to Susanna, would you be able to see it or not?
We're not streaming right now. We're recording.
Okay, cool.
Yes. But we could definitely, once we finish recording, send it to watch.
Yeah, I don't know how you really send a file this large, but you probably need to be a link to it. A replay feature.
I think there must be. So this guy, I guess, is giving us a little taste of our own medicine. He was frustrated, perhaps, that we took 3 minutes and 38 seconds to make a very easy pre-move that we're just going through a little bit of discussion on. That's all right. If he doesn't come back, we'll sit here and talk for an hour and then take a bunch of his rating points. Let's you know what? Let's take a little time. Let's look at Twitch. This is our new Twitch stream, guys. We are Irie Chess. As you can see, the channels we follow are ChessPro and Chess.com, because those are the people that take their inspiration from us and our streaming. One day when we're streaming. This is what we're listening to. Chronic's Greatest Hits. He's won a sweet new wave of Jamaican reggae that we went to in solemn concert recently here in St. Lucia. It was really, really sweet. We're disconnected probably because we're overloading the internet. Nope. All right. So I've seen this game before. It was characterized by this A5 move. I was telling you I was reading this book by Daniel King. And I was drawn to a game between Nigel Short playing the white pieces and Ulf Anderson, who I saw giving commentary just the other day at an event somewhere in Scandinavia. But in this position, Nigel Short castled, obviously. But then after that, the question is, what you have to make that decision about F3 or F4. I think that's the next big thing. And also, another defining aspect of this opening is where you decide to put this rook on A1, whether you put it on B1 or C1. Because one of the bigger weaknesses of the Marazzi is, even though you take up a lot of central space, you get in trouble with that diagonal being a little loose.
Right. Dark square.
Right. I mean, other options I see here could be like queen to d2, but I guess castling at this point is probably our biggest priority.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do something about that pin one way or another, or that
Right.
d4 pawn is in trouble. So, I think castling is cool, man.
Sweet. Yeah, so what Adam's talking about is, we had been thinking about this being protected this way. And we were debating, do we want to protect like here, protect like here, whatever. But right now you might be under the delusion that our e4 pawn is protected, which it is not. Because this very provocative queen move has pinned our king. But not difficult to deal with because we are already playing in the castle. This is a wonderfully opportune time to do it without losing tempo. I was like, there's a little lag on our connection because we're using a lot of internet.
You touched your king. You must play.
I was really concerned that I had jumped the king twice to g1, and we were going to be playing a very different game against our formidable opponent. Is that your phone or my phone?
A6.
I'm gonna step out for a second.
So it's taking over the b5 square. So you want to push b5? No, I can't do that. Maybe he's trying to play for it. We're gonna figure out what our plan is. We're gonna rush him on the king side.
So what's going on, Daddy?
So I was saying how the b5 square, it looks like he's trying to control. We got two knights aiming at that square. He can't really play for b5 right now. We've got a lot of pressure on that square. So, I mean, he's still kind of losing time developing.
Right,
So
because he hasn't made any decision about what to do with his pawn.
Right. Like that bishop. So I was kind of wondering, what is our plan? Are we going to try to kind of rush him on the king side? Because, his queen maybe could be kind of offsides.
No.
Light square bishop still.
I see that, but normally I would feel it's more offsides if he had already played e5, right? Now the queen can just, not the moment, but like it's still available if we move one of our bishops or something like that.
Yeah, but if you ever push that pawn to f4, all of those important squares are covered.
So you want an immediate f4?
No. I'm just wondering, like, what is our plan?
I think the first thing for me strategically is I want to develop this nice center. I want to solidify it. But I'm still kind of waiting for him because he hasn't decided what he's doing with his D and E pawns yet.
So should we just be prophylactic and move our rook off a1?
That's what that was what I was thinking. So okay. I was thinking the decision was between going to b1 or c1.
Okay. I mean, I feel like when I play this, it's usually c1. Especially if you ever intend on playing b3,
right.
You already have.
But at the same time, if our point is to kind of chase that queen around, we have an opportunity to gain a lot of space. b1 followed by a b4 push.
Okay. We would need a3 too?
No, we don't need a3.
Well, that knight, would you capture the knight first?
Right. Right. I mean, we're working towards that, but like that's the general concept of where I see our pawn structure moving. That's one idea. And then you're saying that you're thinking that we push this and jump him there while these control all of the files. So
I think f4 is a move. I don't know if f4 is a move right now, but eventually we have a lot of control over the fifth rank. I like rook somewhere. If you want to go b1, I can support that. I think there's a nice part about
I also normally play rook c1 as well.
I can also see how the c file could open up easily if he ever tries to, compete for b5 or whatever. We can take and that c file ours.
Right. I think and again, I'm drawing a lot of this from the game I played or that I read about with Nigel Short, was the discussion that Daniel King had about this B5 push being something we really needed to clamp down on, stop from happening. And for that reason, I think I could even see a suggestion for playing A4 right now.
Interesting. Yeah. Then RB4 is real questionable.
Oh, for sure.
Are we back? Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Whew. Give me a heart attack over here. Well, so I feel like you can put rook on c1 and you can still get b4 by playing a3 and b4.
Rook on c1.
So you get rook a
Right.
c1 and then, you know, go
Okay.
a3,
Yeah,
take away b4. And,
sure.
you know, then we're still pushing. The queen would have to retreat.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay. I think that we're kind of arguing over small, or haggling over small differences here. You know, it's both, I think, are the correct move, one or the other. So we want to go with c1?
yeah,
Cool.
let's try it.
Let's see if Golden Buzzer hasn't nodded off to sleep.
Takes 2 to 3 minutes.
This poor guy. We're probably just gonna break him psychologically. Where is he hailing? Oh, well, he's actually making moves. Okay.
d6.
6. So this kind of transposes back into a lot of dragon variations. Now that we've managed to get away with the tempo boost he was supposed to receive from the hyper accelerated dragon, it's kind of fizzled out because we played appropriately, and then he's kind of just coming to a very solid but no longer aggressive kind of attack again.
Well, so where's his light square bishop actually going? Because we control all of the key squares on that diagonal.
I think he probably just wants to have it available to trade with any knight that wants to go on any of those squares.
Yeah.
So probably it gets to d7 and kind of sits there and just hopes it can trade off with anything.
It seems like we have time to go a3, b4 and just really push
Push all our space.
on that queen side.
Right.
Just really I mean, the queen has to go backwards.
Well, so what's his next move? His next move is going to be a counter push to e5, right? So we're going to need to be able to put our knight somewhere. I'm guessing the normal place to put it is c3 or c2. But if we do that in the current position, then the knight, or if we do that after moving the b pawn. Yeah. So
I don't know. Do we play f4 now? So that we can take on e5 and
right.
open the file.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. Like it's a.
And then your knight can retreat back to f3. Otherwise, block that f1.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that's an aggressive play, which is kind of more my style.
It does seem like we're really kind of opening it up.
Right. We're definitely, if we do that, we're gonna definitely have to move king h1 at some point to not get squished. Alternatively, we could make a very solid move like queen d2, trying to trade the dark squares bishops on that diagonal.
Well, we'd have to figure something out with that knight first, because we wouldn't be able to play. We wouldn't be able to play bishop h3 yet, because this knight can just capture on d4.
Right. I mean, I do like the positional aspect of the pawn pushes a3, b4 as well.
Yeah, so if we go a3 and he goes b5, you say knight c2?
Which also protects a3. Yeah, c2 I like.
And then we can push b4. Right.
Yes, and we always also, and that still retains the f4 push at any time. The only thing we need to be concerned about is the e4 pawn not having the backup it normally has from an f3 or something. But we'll just remember to be vigilant of it. So where are we going? Make the call.
Also, Do we ever put in? Okay, never mind. A3. That's it.
I hope this doesn't get down to a speed battle where we need to be able to click quickly.
Yeah, well, you know, we were figuring out this streaming software for a while.
Understood.
10 more minutes.
That's fine. We just gotta keep ourselves on a good pace, not overanalyze, you know.
Well, I'm also wondering, do we at some point go H4, H5? Once the queen's up. After we trade.
I normally feel that it's kind of a big push on the queen side here.
Well, we're definitely going for that. I guess, yeah, if we push B4 right now, that A3 pawn is.
But yeah, I mean, I'd like G4. We go King H1, G4, and got to put the rook on that file. All right, so he did what we had surmised he might do with the bishop, his light squared bishop, who was not so great in position. Although honestly, neither is ours. So we're looking to continue with the plan here.
Well, we can't play B4 just yet. Queen D2.
Queen D2 is threatening what though? Because you know, if we don't, I think we kind of were making a decision based on the assumption that he would play E5 and give us a move to C2 without a tempo loss. But if he doesn't do that, then we have no way to be protecting A3 for the B4 push.
I also don't mind his queen over there. It's not really doing anything to us. You know, it's not near our king. It's not threatening us. So
okay, let it.
Fine with it.
Find the opportune moment to chase it away. Right. Okay. So.
I don't think we need to make any unnecessary adjustments. Like his moves have just they're not making any progress.
Right. I mean, so what is he doing next? I guess he's going to centralize his rooks and then maybe push E5 later, right? Like, or you think he's going to push B5 next? No, not quite next, but at some point, not yet.
For a while.
Yeah, so his rooks are going to centralize there. So do we want to do an aggressive push, start our attack with like an F4, or I kind of like the move King H1, but you're saying you like activating the queen, protecting the base at B2?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a little worried about that E4 pawn. F4. Because if he comes back with E5 right here, then our E pawn is isolated.
Well, so increasing, so he goes. You're saying E5.
Maybe we don't.
We retreat.
We just go back, right?
Right.
And then he doesn't really want to take, and then we can push F5.
Oh, you're saying once we've already pushed F4.
Yeah, he'll push us back. We don't capture. We go back.
And then say, do you want to take this
B4?
Right.
He definitely won't capture on F4, and then we can push F5.
Well, he'll put his knight there with the pawn sporting it. That's what he'll do.
I mean, I guess we could just take that pawn.
Take the pawn.
Meaning, we would be winning a pawn.
Oh, right. But no, well, you lose it back from. Might have some discoveries with the bishop on the queen that would be on D4.
Yeah, we might, but then the D6 pawn would be hanging too, so just move up there.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's.
So tell me what you're suggesting is.
What I'm saying.
If we do F4, we don't take. We're not worried about the E5 push. All right. So how is he going to respond to F4?
I think he's going to definitely go E5.
Okay. So we're saying that's his best response, but we're not worried about it.
Yeah, we also need to be careful if our knight's on c2 and we push b4, then our knight on c3 would be.
Right. Yeah, we saw that earlier.
Or maybe it's.
I think b5 is a big threat though. Still, if he's gonna break our queen side.
We have 4 defenders though on b5.
If we do something like f4. Oh, you okay? So you're saying we would take, he takes, we take. Got it.
Yeah, he can definitely not. I don't know. That dark square bishop keeps troubling me.
Well, we'd love to trade it off with
Yeah.
our dark square bishop, right? I just think if we're gonna open f to f4, that is gonna weaken our dark square diagonal towards our kings, right? So just at some point try to get in the tempo to protect us there.
Well, I think at some point, maybe it's just better go f3, queen d2, or fd1, and then you go bishop h6.
Okay, a little slower, but safer idea.
Yeah, because then we protect the knight on d4. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna trouble us playing b4 if that dark square bishop is just looming. Seems dangerous.
All right. So which of these is the safest? How do we feel?
Well, we need our queen on d2 at some point.
So might as well put it there. I think it does a lot there. Yeah. Okay. And then that also gives us flexibility to decide later on. All right.
We're gonna need it to trade at some point or whatever.
So I'll just
bring our other rook in the game.
I'll give us a halfway mark. Right now we've played 12 moves in 34 minutes. Some of that, of course, was due to some technical wrangling, but we probably do need to pick up the pace if we want to be able to not play the second half of this game in blitz mode.
Some water?
Yes, please.
Wow, he hasn't even taken 5 minutes yet. We gotta get him thinking.
We probably got him thinking right now. He's probably distracted watching Friends.
All right, he captured.
I think we capture with the bishop and welcome any opportunity to trade dark squared bishops. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I guess now he's gonna try to close it off and go for.
Play e5.
Yeah. Now.
Then that closes his bishop out, and I'm really happy with that actually. Does that work?
There must be a trick here. I don't think there is a trick here. I don't see a trick.
So knight captures.
Knight captures, puzzle rush, everything's defended.
Queen captures, knight captures, bishop captures. So you just would have won a
Um,
pawn there, right? That's not good.
So we take. Well, obviously we take. Knight takes knight, right? Then he has to do queen takes queen.
Right.
And then we don't. Do we have a way to get that bishop out with tempo? No. So then we'll have to do knight takes queen.
Yeah.
And then he gets bishop takes bishop. Okay. Well, I guess that's the tactic we have been saying should be around, but hadn't seen, because we've had a conversation for a while about making sure we protect that e4 pawn, how it was not really sufficiently covered.
Yeah.
I guess that the queen move to d2 puts us in that spot for that. Yeah. Oh, good to remember for next time. So we're gonna just take our licks here, capture the knight.
Hold on. Let's consider at least something like queen e3 or something. I don't feel great with our position of pawn down, and he has our dark square bishop,
and we've traded off all the pieces, right?
Feel great for us. So
okay, so
how do we keep the queen on the board?
So queen e3, and then he's got to go.
So if
knight
he
takes.
captures knight. We capture with the pawn.
We capture with the pawn? No, we capture with the bishop.
Capture with the bishop. And then if you capture the bishop.
Okay. So we go queen e3.
Queen e3. So what if knight doesn't take?
Well, he's got to find some way to kind of
He can
counterattack.
go. Well, if he goes e5, we got bishop d6.
Yeah.
So he can't. So if he takes the bishop, we capture. Everything's still covered. Well, he obviously has to do something, otherwise we got to attack or something like that.
Right. All right. Let's do it.
So then we'd have, yeah, I mean, whatever. And then at least we're attacking that e7
Right.
pawn.
Hopefully we get the positional compensation of getting his fianchetto dark squared bishop off the board.
Yeah. Hopefully, unless there's some other trick here, I might get off it okay. Got a fighting chance.
So this is the time when we should be doing more of a positional analysis or kind of theme of the board. So that, and then during our turn, once we know the exact move our opponent made, the way to make it is make the exact calculations then. So, we had already said tactically it's better to take back with the bishop, right?
Right, and it'll force the trade of bishops, which is, I think, great. And it'll capture with the rook and still have pressure on the e7 pawn. Yeah, I think maybe then our rook can swing over to h, or whatever we go, h4, h5, bring rook to h6.
Now, another option we could consider is we could take the bishop instead. But no, that would fall into a trap with
Knight takes
e2 as a tempo desperado move. So. Alright, let's just do what we know is correct.
And so if he ever moves the e7 pawn, then d6 is the target.
Oh, we're attacking the queen as well, so he has to take the
That's what I'm
bishop.
saying. He has to trade.
I was starting to calculate places where he doesn't take with the bishop, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I should have calculated that one. Look at that. That's cool. He's defending the pawn by moving the queen back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If he ever moves that e7 pawn, then d6 is really kind of questionable.
Well, this is he's really trying to preserve his bishop here, but I think he's doing it at a kind of passive cost. I mean, obviously he's more cautious than we are, not giving up a free pawn, but I still like us being in the attacking position here.
Yes, I mean, we definitely take, and then we got that little diagonal check if we ever need it. This king's kind of temporarily in a bad position.
Right, but I think if we have to take now,
Yeah,
because
no,
otherwise e5 is going to put us in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so that's what we've been looking for the whole time, is his one trump in Sicilian is this dark squared bishop. Although I guess because we were a little unsound in our methods, we did lose the big space advantage. But just pretend that we still had a pawn on e4. And you would see how nice this is. Alright, so what's the game plan here? Are we doing like a pawn storm with h4? Or f4?
No, I don't think we have anything to clear out enough pieces on the board. I think we gotta start putting pressure on the pawn and try to equalize. And, he's still really kind of pushed back, so maybe we start getting our rooks more centralized and kind of tie down the center. We don't really want him to start getting big pushes. And I guess we could go like f5. It's a little risky.
Well, he really needs space right now, right? So, I mean, I feel like he's got to activate his pieces if he wants to push for a win, unless he's just expecting us to keep giving him
go
pawns.
b5 now.
b5, yeah. But that winds him up with an isolated d pawn.
We have a 2-for-1 on the side.
And there may be some kind of tactic to pick up a pawn as well with this.
I'm kind of looking at rook f d1.
Okay.
Kind of hold down that e pawn and then put it on the same line as pieces.
Yeah, I like it.
And eventually maybe we go c5. Do we consider c5 right now?
I don't think we want to give up those pawns in the middle there. They're kind of blocking his pieces in.
Yeah.
We don't want to let him exploit that advantage. My initial instinct was pawn f to d1 as well, but I did initially see how good it is that in fact because of where his queen and bishop placement is, he can't push e5 next move, which is what he would love to do.
Yeah, let's do that.
Always good to put a rook in the center, especially if it's x-raying a queen. So why don't we just listen to the basics for a little bit? Man, this guy has played 6 minutes of chess against us. And he's up a pawn.
Hope he's got a nice cold beer. Maybe he's got a dog or a cat.
Where are you from, Golden Buzzer? Minnesota.
Alright, it's really important to remember so far from this game. Oh, so I was just thinking that if he ever moves his queen, I didn't think he was going to. We could always put our queen on b6 and kind of lock in those pawns, put some pressure.
You don't think he'd attempt to trade queens?
Well, he just moved out of the way. We would just move back then.
So we go.
Repeat, then fine.
So we go b6, and he goes bishop to c6, improving the position of his bishop. So we're not threatening any pawns, right? We basically just moved our queen away from the center of the board to help his bishop get on the ideal square.
Well, then do you want to go bishop f3?
Oh, to take that from it and say if you want it, but well, then he trades and moves another pawn into the central majority.
Well, you wouldn't take it. You just contest, I guess. Or how can we?
Well, what if we just start doubling rooks? Go rook to d5 or rook to d4, something like that. Just so that we can get it over to the h file and start trying to get our own checkmate.
To be honest, now that he moved his queen off that diagonal, maybe we play h4, h5 now.
Yeah, I mean, what's he gonna have to do to get it out?
And swing the rook over.
Yeah,
he's kind of moved it off that and forked that, which is because he wants to push. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of stuck in there.
But what I'm also thinking too is the difficult part is when he does finally play e5, which I think he's finally decided he's ready to do now.
D6 is hanging. That's why we played the rook there.
Right. But I mean, okay.
He really can't move the e pawn. Right?
Yeah.
Also, we gotta play quicker.
All right. So the two options are attacking h2, h4, h5, or bringing the rook to d4 and then swinging it over to h4.
Yeah, I'd rather.
What's your rationale for doing which one first?
I want to get the pawn out of the way first.
All right.
And it gives us an escape square for our king. Something we might need.
Okay, excellent point. We're not worried about trying to continue with this push over here. At this point, now that the queen's moved, nothing's.
I mean, I guess you could play a5.
Could be annoying. It's not worth it. We're attacking, right?
Whatever.
By the way, we can't manage to play a long game anyway. We have to throw all our pieces, otherwise we're going to run out of time.
Yeah,
it's like fighting the apocalypse here, right? So, you either win or you die. Armageddon.
I don't know. His king's already a little weird. Like, make something a little interesting. We gotta take some chances. It's already done pawn and time. But yeah, like his you know.
He feels like he's played very conservatively.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's solid, right? Like that's fine. That's a reasonable way to play.
Because playing f5 here feels really bad to me.
Feels like I would love him to play f5.
Right. So I don't know how he expands.
I guess we can say that he has a dark square complex weakness. Would be how Stillman would explain it to us.
He's gonna either play bishop c6 or rook c8. Yes. I don't know what else.
But what does that do? And even once he points his bishop onto that great diagonal, it controls a lot of space, but it's not space we need because our pieces can all operate on the dark squares instead.
He should probably go h5, right?
Yeah, you're right. He probably should. Is that weakening? Because we could sack h6.
I think h5 is a lot better because we don't have a dark square bishop, but we don't have a knight. So we can't attack those squares at all. So it's almost better to play h5 here and let those light squares open up for our bishop. So
just say push.
I mean,
or take either one.
If we play h5 and he plays g5, then we put our bishop on d3, and now all of a sudden our bishop is great.
Excellent point.
But then does he have F5? Maybe he really opened himself up.
I like it. I mean, we came to
take.
play,
That's
right?
great.
Yeah. Well, definitely he's not going to take. That opens him up so dramatically.
And so if he doesn't move, he just does something else. He's still taking.
I'm just saying, or I'm just checking to make sure it's not time to put a rook to rook lift as well to add support.
I'm just a little worried because if he plays G5 F5, that fourth rank is
Not going to be as helpful, right?
it's very dangerous. I'm saying I don't want a rook to kind of be a little misplaced.
Mm.
It also gives him actually no, his queen's not on the 8th.
Yeah, that's why I was saying once he moved his queen off the 8th. We could always also move the king up to F2 at some point, at the right moment, as some other commentators might say. But I like the H5. It makes him make a decision, right?
Yeah, let's play it now. Go with her. Screw it, man. Rook on A8, it's out of the game. Let's try to do something. I mean, if he goes G5, do we just go F4?
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to do something to deal with the light square diagonal there.
Yeah, we got a little pressure going right now.
Well, that's what I said. He just played so conservatively. Yeah, he grabbed the pawn, but it's allowed us to have way more mobility. His queen is basically he did a bonk pot to us. He just made it look like real opening, but now he's switched his queen with the king to his opening position.
I hate to say it, but we're gonna unfortunately have to start playing quicker and probably make some mistakes.
Yeah. All right. So he's trying to put some counter pressure. What do we see? We want to keep our focus on our attack, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking if we take,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, if we bring the rook over to D4, H4, and we provoke.
That's what I like.
Only problem is once we ever move the rook off the D file, then he can play E5. We have to be careful about that.
Well, what's this?
So maybe we go rook D4, rook C D1.
Yeah, I mean that was what I was thinking originally. The question is, do we want to set up a spot where we then are having a back rank issue? I mean, I know we have the escape square, but the rook is now facing on a diagonal where it's no longer supported. I guess it's still supported by the queen at this point. Yeah, I've been an advocate for this rook d4 move for a while. I think I want to get as much firepower facing his king as possible because we're not going to win in a long endgame of pawn down or with our time. So yeah, I like doubling up on the d file and trying to
do it.
Come across. And you're saying now before we move this out, put c8 to d1 so that we keep the pressure there.
Yeah, because you don't want to let him play e5 at all. If he gets an e5, f5, we're done. So we gotta really keep that clamped down. And if we don't really need to worry about the c4 pawn because we can play b3. We don't really need to worry about protecting that. I don't really think he has anything on the c5.
He's just going to go to the tank for about 45 minutes now.
Dude, he's playing really quickly.
Is he playing quickly? Or only 20 moves in. How after 20 moves?
20 moves in 9 minutes?
In a 60-minute game with no increment? So it's substantially quicker than the...
I sometimes take this, maybe not this much, but I don't know opening well enough, so...
That's a good point. I
need to really think about it.
I mean, I definitely agree with the general tenet, which must be the tenet of why you would even play chess, is that the longer you take and the harder you work on it, the better. If we can take here, I just realized we need to, because we could have, bring the rook over and be attacking h6 with the queen. That's going to be really difficult to defend.
Yeah, that's why I want to play the rook on d1 first, then bring.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, of course, I agree with that. But
and then if he pushes g5,
then we have to figure something else out.
Bring the rook back over.
Well, we still have really strong rooks at that point.
Bring the rook to, or bring the bishop to I don't know.
About the time, or?
About the time, but also he's just going to push g5 with the tempo against our rook. So
yeah, we don't switch it over until we've already resolved g5 issue.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what we want to do there. Because I'm going to just open his rook up too. So we gotta kind of keep it
Closed in.
We go bishop d3. Start putting a lot of pressure there.
Maybe we trade our rooks for his minor pieces or 3 pawns because we value the diagonals more. I'm just still really surprised at how poorly placed this queen is. His choice not to compete at all for the center, I feel, has really given us a very aggressive opportunity against him.
I mean, he's just trying to play e5 so badly, and we cannot. That's a problem with moving his queen off d8, isn't it? It's
been what he's been looking for this whole time, but where's the cheese?
Well, so we have c5. No, we don't. I thought we could take that bishop.
We can still just go rook d1, continue with our plan, because we can still recapture that pawn if he captures, right? That bishop can always recapture, right? Still got 2 people on it. We just put it on ice. Don't worry about it. The only problem is even if he pushes, he can't make us split up our pawns, pawn majority on the queen side.
Yeah, he goes a5.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
So, rook c to d1?
Yeah, takes us off a weird pin too.
Yeah. Safety first, that's our motto.
I guess we gotta figure out who this audience is. Is this young people? Is it nation? Like, can we be swearing? I like that it's personable that the chess pros do that.
Yeah, then you definitely have to figure out what people want. Because also, nobody's going to watch the quality of our analysis if they're a club player, right?
Right, I'm just thinking, like, if we were just doing this and weren't tied to our job or these people here, I would be saying crazy shit, we'd be drinking,
So you're looking more for, like, the entertainment
value
value
actually
of it,
watch this. Maybe, like, Ian and John Doe.
Wait, so I'm just looking tactically here. I'm guessing in a game where your opponent has 47 minutes to figure it out. But do we have any kind of forcing possibilities with this queen to c3? Putting I guess he just moves the king, but then does that give us any kind of discovery options? Interesting. He's really.
So is this trying to protect the e7 pawn? Is he trying to double up again? We just go b3. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really strikes me as a kind of low quality move.
Needs to be careful of a puzzle rush. If rook takes d6.
Rook takes d6. Gets lonely. Right. I guess he's still improving the possibility for getting his bishop to c6. I don't think that much, but we need to figure out our breakthrough.
It's more important covering g4, so we can't just like push g4, g5. Maybe we should. Well, if we go g4, he goes g5.
Right. But then we go f3. To d3, yeah.
He goes f5.
Well, but G4 is protected by the rook, so so we have two. It's overprotected, right? I don't think we want to capture on G6, opening up his rook, do we? Not yet. Not until we have a rook on the H file.
Okay, so do we want to force G5?
I feel like G5 is his correct response to like all of our tactical tricks.
H4, he goes G5. And then we just lost some time, but I guess that one.
Right. So
Seems bad.
So it seems like no matter what, he's trying to get his G5 push whenever we try to provoke. Like he's ready to do it for lots of different tactical ideas.
Is F4 weird?
Okay, I was going to suggest if we went ahead and did bishop onto that D3 diagonal as is.
Yeah, the only problem with that is then we still have that pawn problem with the rook F4 and our rook's kind of in a weird place. Trapped in that. I don't know. I don't mind bishop.
But now you're saying F4 is interesting.
I don't know. I'm just.
So if we do F4, he's going to meet with F5, right? But I think that's probably fine for us. Or maybe he meets with bishop to F5. He probably goes bishop to F5 then.
Oh, then we got a G. So, yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, let's make a decision. We're looking at pushing F4.
Yeah, we got 18 minutes left. We gotta just be a little risky and bold and probably bad.
Well, he doesn't have a dark squared bishop, so we're safe. The only piece that can attack us on this diagonal is the dark squared diagonal is the queen, which has no convenient way or reason to get on that diagonal. So I still feel pretty safe here. All right, so we're playing F4. We need to bring in more men, as Andy would say. Bring in
St. Lucia Chess Federation
more men.
President Andy Alexander. Probably one of the best guys I know.
Absolutely.
Oh man, yeah, wow. I like how deliberate we're being, but
I like how you've been keeping up with it on the board.
I was going to, it's just a little far.
You want to give it a go? Take the wheel.
Doesn't matter. I mean, do you want to switch?
Yeah.
Okay. So he takes. So we're gonna recapture with our bishop.
So that was one idea. I guess we need to, because if we tried to go with the G4 or the G4 push. Yeah, no, I guess we do. So what's he gonna do then? He's gonna.
Do we care if he captures on H5? No.
Right. But so what if we capture bishop captures E4? He's gonna go bishop to D5, right?
Yeah, and then we just capture and have a 2-for-1 majority on that side, I guess.
No, because he'll recapture with the queen, so we'll brought his queen out.
So I guess the rook is. Yeah.
Although, if he recaptures with the queen, then we take... his queen's not defending the king side anymore, we take G6. He recaptures with the f-pawn, and then we take... Can we take E7 and...
Oh, we can capture C4 and then play B3.
Okay.
We don't want to let his queen get involved, but then our C4 pawn's going to be a target.
Sure.
Well, let's say we're not capturing with the rook, right? That's
no.
So let's not waste more time. We got to figure it out later.
No, I think that bishop's going to be an important attacker breaking out. Like, keep it if we can. I guess we could even do something like just move it out of the way, like move it to the D3 square somewhere where it can be pointed easily without, or even back to A2. The important diagonals is the
That's
A2
true.
and the B1 diagonal.
Yeah, I wouldn't go B3 because then it attacks.
Or we hide it behind the pawns and we don't worry
and then
about
you can scoop it around to B1 actually.
right,
Might be better.
yeah, pointing at those two places.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely don't want to trade. Probably don't want to trade anything. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Actually, that's going to punish if he does bring the bishop there, the retreat there, then we can play A4 next, and the bishop's going to have to go back. Nowhere he can advance.
Well, he's got the queen on it. We wouldn't be able to yet.
Well, I don't know. And then we can have queen to A3 behind it.
Oh, this thing's moving really slowly. And he's got an A4. Right, so you just hit.
Right, but then we come queen behind to A3. Now he has to retreat, and we pin the against the A6 pawn. Or no, am I missing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we shouldn't even be worried too much about the queen side.
Yeah,
We
he
need
seems to be distracted by it, but yeah, if we can just break down.
I mean, we are attacking that A6 pawn right now, so it might come to B5, right? So I don't know how
I
many
think
lines
bishop
we want
B5
to
has
open
to
up.
be fine.
So then we're gonna go bishop A2. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that a lot. It's a great spot. So now if he doesn't, do we take that pawn? Or what if he just, he probably should just go A5 or something.
I don't know. I feel if we're taking that pawn, we still have all the space. We have connected passed pawns on the outside. That can be our new game plan. The strength of those connected passed pawns. See, that's where I think his bishop deserves to be. That's the best.
So we don't have G4 because we moved our bishop.
Oh no.
I think taking the pawn is cool, but it just feels slow. And he'd attack it with tempo.
Oh no. If we take the pawn, he's going to take with the bishop, right?
Then I'm saying taking the A6 pawn.
Oh right.
He's gonna attack it with tempo. His queen's gonna get into a better position. You know, like I feel like we got something going on this king side. We gotta just try to play it for it.
Well, I just really don't like where his bishop is right now. It's a green square. We also have to be careful of him infiltrating now into C2. He can support his rook there.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to try to trade our... I think we should grab the pawn, let him chase it, and then we retreat it to D3 with the idea to trade it so we don't lose any tempo on the trade. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what if he brings the rook in right away, though?
Well, then we double attack him and he has to trade still. We're still bringing our bishop back to
Attacking this
D3.
pawn, then.
Okay, but that pawn's inconsequential, right? Or is it? I mean,
I don't know.
so you're saying we take, he goes rook C2 immediately?
No, he can't because then we can come queen C3 here, attack the rook, and have a discovered attack.
Okay, wait, yeah. So I like getting our material back. It's been a while. I think we deserved it. And not so much just because we're pawn grabbing, but we're grabbing important pawns that can blockading our other pawns. Now the A and B files are completely open for our approach. It gives us a winning endgame.
It's crazy how much slower, or how much quicker 60 minutes with no 30-second minutes.
It's very fast.
Like, jeez.
Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe the fact that we are taking so long is helping us out. I think we're ahead of this game.
Yeah, we've definitely turned it around after that early blunder, dropping that pawn.
I mean, it really felt more like a gambit.
Yeah, it kind of gave us a lot
It
of
gave us so much initiative. Right?
promise there.
I love playing chess with initiative. I hate playing chess on the back foot.
Seems to be my strategy lately is give up a pawn accidentally at the beginning, but then get unexpected play.
Alright, so everything's going as planned.
So we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Cool. And again, if he takes that C2 pawn, B2 pawn,
Please.
we got queen.
We gotta trade first.
C3.
We gotta trade the bishop.
Right. I'm assuming he's gonna trade.
Right.
Because
he
if
trades
he
and
just
we
takes the
don't.
B2 pawn now, then we take on F5 and we open up his
Oh yeah, that's pretty awful for him.
king.
It's a hurt in the basket. He took it.
Right. So again, we really can't take on B3, I don't think.
I hope he thinks he can though.
We also have ideas
Reasonable.
of playing something like F5 or something. He's trying to blitz us out, dude.
Do we want to try to run our pawns down the board now? Like,
Well, he's threatening checkmate. So
oh, well, I don't want that now. But if we go queen to G3,
yeah.
aren't we pinning that? So we're indirectly protecting that pawn for the moment, and also doing a great job of protecting all of well, except for now that B2 is hanging. Do we want to defend with the D rook, the rook to D2?
No, I like the queen there, and we don't worry about these pawns. And then we, now E7 is loose. So yeah, it's just we'll still have a pass pawn over there. So let's see.
I mean, yeah, where are we making progress?
Oh, we can also go rook b4 if he doesn't take.
If he doesn't take, right? If he does take, what's our next?
I don't know. What about f5? So we open up the fifth rank for the rook. It's kind of just been sitting there not doing a whole lot.
Yeah. Now the problem with that then is that he can push g5. Now we don't have our legs for bishop anymore. So. Okay.
Well, if he pushes g5, we go g6. Right. He almost definitely has to take.
How do we go g6?
So we go.
Oh, f6.
Right, f6.
Got it. Oh, and then we get to take the
then we
e-pawn.
take.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I like f5 fun. That was my only concern, but yeah, that works fine. As long as we still don't blunder checkmate.
And now we kind of hold in E7 indirectly with multiple song. So yeah, I think we push, right? He has to take.
No, those pawns are going to do a pretty good job of protecting him now that we don't have that bishop anymore. How are we?
I don't know. We're gonna have a lot of pressure on this f6 pawn.
Well, oh, it's his. I was thinking to me our f6 pawn.
No. He's got to capture. He's got to capture. I mean, he could capture with his king, which would be really interesting. I guess that was
a little badass.
Only move.
All right.
Wait, we have his queen.
We have his
rook
queen.
takes, pawn takes, rook takes.
Well, that's nice.
Right? We want that, right?
Wait, hold on.
We're gonna get two pawns.
He doesn't have a check in between because we're checking.
We're giving a check every time.
Takes.
It's forced. So
And then
then.
he has to go back to defend the rook, and then we fork the other rook. Yeah,
Holy
that's game
shit.
over.
No way.
Let's double check. We got 11 minutes.
It's all forced. He has to take. So we know this part. So we're gonna have
We
our
know the
queen
double
right
one's
here
forced.
with check.
He has to take. Right.
So our queen is here with check. These three pieces are gone. Our two rooks are gone. It's check.
Right,
Attacking the rook.
The only way for him
Has to
defend
move
the
back
rook is
here.
there. Then we go to
Queen
D4.
here, check, and good night.
All right, good game. Good game, buddy. GG, OP.
I was like, I guess he could take with his king, but
Puzzle
that can't be
rush,
right.
puzzle rush. He's gonna call us a cheater. Do it. No, he didn't. He hasn't seen it yet.
No mouse slip. No mouse. Oh my god! I hit your computer.
Oh my god.
Jesus
You scared the shit out of me, dude.
Because you have to slide this
What
so
are you
much.
doing?
It's
What are you
it's
doing?
having to slide so much.
This is a high risk. I'm nervous about the mouse slips after watching the Puzzle Battle Championship today. Blessed. Yes.
He just got ruined.
That was amazing. Nice tactical vision, Anna. That was a little loose, thinking you could do that with your king. Ooh,
Wow.
yikes.
I was like, wait, you can't go king f6. Please resign. He's gonna try to blitz us out.
He's not gonna blitz us out. I'll just go to the bathroom and let Adam Griffey put his 3-minute skills to the test. Do I know basic checkmate patterns?
I mean, I'm literally gonna push this pawn up the board, and there's nothing you can do. That is a simple.
F6.
Wow.
Let's give him a little bit more.
Wow. And that pawn on h5 is beautiful.
You know he's just salty. That's all that's going on. Now hold on, queen to c2. Is that where we want to be right now?
No, we just want to push this pawn
All
up
right.
the board the entire
Force him
time.
to react to it. Yeah. Good night, sweet prince.
I mean, there's literally nothing you can do about this. If he ever brings his rook there, now we have queen d8. Can't go rook a7.
Man, sorry, golden buzzer.
You know what we can do? Goodbye.
You resign? GG. All right. Whew. That was great. Do we want to analyze, see what we did?
Yeah.
All right. And then we can check it against the computer once we've had a chance to talk about it.
Wow.
Congratulations!
What a comeback.
What a nice game. Now I will say, even though we blundered that pawn, he was always playing very conservatively.
Yeah, the queen
He was a very
was
timid
pretty
player.
terrible, right?
I don't think he never really gave us any pressure. You got to give the pressure. You got to come.
Queen D8 was pretty
You
terrible.
got to come with the fire. The city's burnt.
Yeah, come on, fire.
All right, so I'm gonna pause this video and we're gonna check out the quality, and then we're gonna start fresh to analyze this game.